Welcome to the Explainer. So, you're thinking about the condo market in 2026. Good, because that's exactly what we're breaking down today.
Okay, let's just get right into it. If you're even thinking about buying a condo in the next couple of years, you need to know something really important. The national headlines, they're not telling you the whole story, not even close. Depending on where you live, it's like we're talking about two completely different planets.
So, first up, let's pull back and look at the big picture for Canada as a whole. And the main headline here is that things are, well, they're cooling down. You know that condo boom we've all been watching for years? All those cranes in the sky? Well, it looks like it's finally taking a bit of a breather. The pace of new condo construction is set to slow right down across the country. The whole economic recipe that fueled that boom, it's changing. And look, this isn't just us guessing. We've got it straight from the horse's mouth. Canada's National Housing Agency, the CMHC. They're forecasting a very clear cooldown specifically for the condo market, even if other parts of housing start to pick back up. And you can see this chill setting in across the country's biggest cities. Take Toronto. Demand for new condos is way down. Same story in Montreal. And even in Vancouver, which is on the mend, sales are nowhere near those crazy peaks we saw back in 2021. It's a national trend for sure. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Because if you just look at that national average, you're missing the real story. It's actually hiding two totally different realities for condo buyers. It really is a tale of two markets. So on one hand, you've got your usual suspects, the big, expensive markets like Toronto and Vancouver. Here, affordability is just stretched to its absolute limit. It's a huge barrier for buyers. But then, on the other hand, you have these places that are becoming affordability hubs. Think Calgary, and they are attracting people in waves. The market pressures there, completely different. To really wrap our heads around this divide, let's zero in on Calgary. Seriously, it's a fascinating case study. It shows exactly how these big national forces are reshaping a local market and creating a totally unique situation for anyone looking to buy a condo there. Just look at this. It's wild. Check out the massive pivot developers in Calgary have made. Back in early 2024, only about a third of new apartments being built were for renters. Fast forward to mid-2025, and that number has exploded to 71%. They've basically flipped a switch from building condos for sale to apartments for rent. So what happens when you build that many rentals? Well, the market gets flooded with new supply. And that has a direct, massive impact on the resale condo market. We're talking a 93% skyrocket in the number of condos for sale. For a buyer, that means choice, a ton of choice, more than we've seen in a very long time. And you know basic economics, right? When supply shoots up like that, what happens to the demand for the older stuff? It drops. With all these shiny new rental options, people are less interested in buying older resale condos. We've seen sales fall by almost a third. That's a huge drop. This quote from the Calgary Real Estate Market Update just nails it. The new rental buildings are going head-to-head with the resale condo market. And if you're a first-time buyer looking at an entry-level condo, this is great news for you. It's putting real downward pressure on prices and giving you a heck of a lot more bargaining power. Okay, so let's step back again. Why is this happening? What are the huge economic forces that are pulling these markets in completely opposite directions? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is this idea called affordability arbitrage. It sounds fancy, but it's pretty simple. It's just people packing up and moving from super expensive cities like Toronto and Vancouver to more affordable places like Calgary, where their paycheck goes way, way further. And this isn't a trickle. It's a full-on wave of migration. How big of a wave are we talking about? Try this on for size. In just 1 year, Alberta saw a net gain of over 56,000 people from other provinces. That is a massive number of new people, all looking for more affordable places to live. That puts incredible pressure on a housing market. And of course, we have to talk about the interest rate roller coaster. Remember back in early 2022 when the rate was basically zero? Then bam, by mid-2023, it's up at 5%. That squeezed homeowners everywhere, no doubt. But in the really expensive cities, it pushed housing costs past the breaking point. It basically made the affordability of a place like Calgary look even better by comparison. And it's not just interest rates and migration. You've got other things in the mix too. There's some economic uncertainty, like the threat of tariffs that could hit the prairie economies. But then you've got super strong local job growth in Calgary that keeps demand high. And on top of that, you have potential government policy changes, like getting rid of the GST for first-time buyers, which could give the market another little nudge. All right, so let's bring this all home. What does this actually mean for you? If you're looking at buying a condo in 2026, how in the world do you navigate this split personality market? This chart pretty much sums it up. If you're looking in Toronto or Vancouver, expect a slow recovery. The good news, probably less competition from investors. The bad news, affordability is still a killer. The price of entry is just plain high. Now, shift your gaze to Calgary. That rental boom we talked about, it's creating a buyer's market. You've got more choice, more negotiating power, and prices are likely softening. As for other prairie cities, you're probably looking at something in between, a more balanced market, where strong demand is being met with new supply. You know, all of this leads to a really big, thought-provoking question. As developers in these booming cities pivot from building condos to own to apartments to rent, are we watching a fundamental shift in urban living? For a lot of people, the choice might not be between a house or a condo anymore. It might be between renting a brand new, amenity-rich apartment or buying an older resale condo. And that right there could completely redefine the dream of homeownership in Canadian cities for a long, long time.